Hi there, and welcome to the event. We'll be getting started in just a moment. Take a look around our event platform. You'll find important event information, a list of resources, including our follow along materials, as well as our media player window. You can resize the media player by clicking and dragging from the bottom corner. Or you can click the Maximize button to view this presentation in full screen. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be starting shortly.
I see cold, I'm just a diamond in the rough. Keep it cool, cause every time I'm rising up. I'm on a roll, yeah, I do it like that. I'm wild and bold, oh na 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 na. Got 'em like got 'em like
Hi there and welcome. I'm Jared with Microsoft. I am thrilled that you have joined us today. Marketing professionals work in an environment where brand messaging, competitive positioning, and campaign execution must adapt rapidly. Success requires both creative vision and data driven agility. Today, I want to explore how Microsoft 365 Copilot can transform your workday by enhancing your content creation capabilities and helping you respond quickly to competitive threats. This enables you to maintain brand consistency while adapting messaging for dynamic market conditions. We've designed this session to be practical and relevant to your marketing responsibilities. Feel free to share questions through the chat feature as we go. Our team is monitoring and will address as many as possible. Now, let's take a look at our agenda. We'll begin with a brief introduction to Microsoft 365 Copilot and what makes it uniquely powerful. Then, we'll cover some of the essential prompting strategies to help you communicate effectively with Copilot. The heart of our session, though, will be live demonstrations across the Microsoft 365 suite. You'll see firsthand how Copilot can help you quickly summarize competitive documents in Copilot Chat, gather and share information using Notebook and Pages, create compelling imagery with Copilot Visual Creator, and update messaging frameworks and copy libraries in Word. We'll conclude with next steps and resources to support your Copilot journey. Everything we cover today is designed to deliver value to your role. So, let's get started. When you think about being productive at work, you might imagine having an assistant. Traditionally, we associate assistants with executives and upper management. However, with the advancements in AI, Copilot is designed to provide everyone with an AI assistant at work. This is a bold promise, and Copilot delivers in significant ways. First, it's important to understand that this artificial intelligence is powered by a large language model, or LLM. Essentially, this means that it understands words and how they relate to each other, forming a vast amount of intelligence that can respond to us in a human like way. In the past, interacting with computers required a knowledge of code and a rigid, structured way of communicating for the PC to understand. Now, with large language models and Copilot, you can use casual, conversational speech and it will intelligently understand you. This is the foundation of how Copilot works. Its capabilities are further enhanced by its integration with Microsoft 365, giving it access to your organization's data. Of course, it's built with best in class data protection and privacy. This intelligence and company knowledge are integrated across the apps that you use daily. These apps include familiar ones like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook, and even newer applications like Microsoft Loop. To access Copilot, your organization needs to assign you a Copilot license. Once you have a license, you'll see the Copilot icon, which I'll show you later, and you can interact with Copilot within the apps that you are familiar with. As I mentioned, Copilot has access to a wide array of company data, including sensitive information and confidential projects. It is crucial to emphasize that Microsoft 365 Copilot runs on trust, the trust that you and your organization place in us at Microsoft. The data you provide to Copilot is your data. Microsoft and its partners cannot view your interactions, and data is never used to train the AI models. The AI models are already highly trained, and your data is used solely for your organization's purposes. The security of this language model is backed by Microsoft's comprehensive compliance and security protocols, providing the same level of protection that organizations have relied on with Microsoft 365 for years. There are several ways to interact with Copilot. One way is through Copilot Chat for the work and web, which can be accessed in a few different places. To talk to Copilot, you could go to microsoft.com/copilot. This will take you to the web-based interface where you can ask Copilot questions about your organization and more. You'll also find this chat interface inside of the Microsoft 365 Copilot app and through the sidebar in the Microsoft Edge browser. In Teams, you can chat with Copilot just as you would with your colleagues. You'll gain even more value from Copilot by using the in app chat. In apps like Outlook, Copilot can assist you with drafting emails while considering the context of the entire email thread. In Teams, Copilot can help you in your meetings. In Microsoft Word, it is able to both draft and summarize content. And in PowerPoint, it helps you present information effectively. Across these applications, Copilot is integrated into the experiences. So, how does it work? The key is prompts. Prompts are what you say to Copilot. While I'm going to share the best way to prompt Copilot, it's important to remember that you can just talk to it naturally, just as you would with another person. Even if your prompt isn't perfect, Copilot will still strive to provide a helpful response. However, there are ways to enhance your prompts for optimal results. Simply telling Copilot what you need is a great starting point. It can perform tasks like transforming an FAQ document into a 10-slide onboarding guide. It's useful for catching up on missed information in a Teams chat or an email thread, and for learning about things within your organization. You can phrase these requests as standard questions, but adding the right ingredients to your prompt can make it even more powerful. There are 4 key elements to crafting an effective Copilot prompt. First is the goal. Clearly state what you want Copilot to do. For example, generate 3 to 5 bullet points. Easy. Context. Providing the background information to explain why you need the information. For example, give me those bullet points to prepare for a meeting with client X to discuss their Phase 3 brand campaign. Because Microsoft 365 Copilot is integrated, it understands who Client X is and the details of the Phase 3 brand campaign, so you don't have to copy and paste all the information. Then you have the sources. Which information sources should Copilot use? You can specify particular documents or Teams chats to focus on. So, for example, focus on email and Teams chats since June. Now, this is useful if, for example, a significant change occurred in the project in June, making the earlier information irrelevant. Providing this context helps Copilot refine its response. And finally, the expectations. You should define how Copilot should respond. So, for example, please use simple language so I can get up to speed quickly. Or explain this to me like I'm a child, or even explain it to me as if I were a pirate. Whatever you'd like. These elements, the goal, context, source, and expectations, are the ingredients for a great prompt. Here are just a few other key tips for prompting. Your initial prompt is just the beginning. You can refine the response by asking follow-up questions to guide Copilot towards the best outcome. Copilot excels at translating languages. Large language models have a strong understanding of a wide array of languages, making localization easier. Copilot can assist with creative tasks, such as inventing something, or creating a narrative, or developing a storytelling demo of your organization's products. All of this said, it's important to be aware of Copilot's limitations. While Microsoft is continuously working to enhance Copilot's capabilities, there are some tasks that it cannot perform yet. Copilot will attempt to inform you of its limitations, but sometimes the response may be unsatisfactory or unclear. It is important for you to use your judgment in evaluating the response. Using quotation marks. This is helpful. If you put quotation marks around specific phrases or citations, it can be helpful for Copilot, just as it is for human readers. When switching to a different topic, it is advisable to start a fresh chat to help Copilot stay focused. And finally, it is beneficial to treat Copilot with the same professionalism that you would extend to your colleagues. Now, while it may seem unusual to be courteous to a computer, it has been observed that being professional and kind to Copilot can result in more comprehensive and insightful responses. Therefore, it is a good practice to say please and thank you periodically. Now it's time to see it in action. Welcome to Boulder Innovations, where cutting edge EV charging solutions meet intelligent design. What you're looking at is our flagship product, the Charge Hub Pro, an elegant yet powerful EV charging solution that's transforming commercial spaces across North America. Today, we'll see how this forward thinking company is leveraging Microsoft 365 Copilot to accelerate their mission of making electric mobility accessible to all. Since 2014, Boulder Innovations has evolved from a startup to an industry leader with over 200 employees across multiple locations. They are currently focused on four key initiatives: a European expansion, launching a line of affordable residential charging products called the Charge Hub Home, their international hiring, and performing competitive analyses. These strategic priorities create the perfect backdrop to demonstrate how Microsoft 365 Copilot empowers different roles to drive innovation across the organization. Meet Jordan Reyes, a member of the marketing team at Boulder. He's currently managing the Amsterdam launch of the Charge Hub Home while responding to competitive threats from leaked competitor documents. Today, we'll see how Jordan leverages Microsoft 365 Copilot to analyze competitive intelligence, rapidly adapt messaging strategies, and coordinate emergency response campaigns, all while maintaining consistent brand voice across multiple channels.
Upon receiving a document from a competitor, Jordan uses Copilot in Word to immediately summarize the file and learn the latest from the competitor.
Let's take a look inside Jordan's email inbox. Here, I'm at my Windows desktop. I'll open up the new Outlook. Boulder Innovations has moved to this, and I can see that there is a very urgent email from Sophia. Priya is involved, urgent review needed. Let's see what she needs. Okay, here's a link to the document in question. Well, that tells me not much, so let's see what's going on. I'm going to tap Summary by Copilot here at the top. Sophia forwarded competitive intelligence from Klaus Weber regarding Contoso's European strategy. Now, Contoso is our competitor here at Boulder, so this is really interesting. It looks like our legal counsel, Priya, reviewed it, confirmed that we can use it. Very good. Let me just double check that that happened. I can click this to right here, and that will take me right to the email where she says, yes, you are clear to proceed with competitive analysis. Well, that's great. Sophia requested my assessment on how this affects our presentation strategy because we are 3 days until a very important launch event here at Boulder. So, competitive information like this late arriving just before a launch event, it happens. Now, as a marketer, we need to jump into action. So, let's take a look at exactly what Sophia has provided us. This is the document that we've received. I simply click it, it opens here in Word on the web. Now, I could look through this entire document that was written by Contoso, but I have a summary option here in Microsoft Word using Copilot in Word. You'll notice it says Summary. Well, this isn't very much information, so I'll hit View More. Here's what I love about this. I get an instant summary that is customizable. So this is the standard view, and it contains a pretty good overview. This is talking about their Lightning Home Energy System. At Boulder, we do EV charging. So does Contoso. They have a different solution than us, complete energy transformation, and the investment is really expensive. That's interesting. Market positioning and competitive advantages. This transforms their home electrical infrastructure. That might present an opportunity for us to compete. Now, what if this summary is maybe a bit too long? I can adjust it using this control here. So I can click this drop down, and instead of standard, I can say, give me a briefer, a more concise overview. Now, now let's say I want even more detail. I'll go to detailed. Now look at this. This is very clearly positioned. I have headings, I have subtext, I have bullet points, all that Copilot has created for me. Now, for you to really appreciate this, look at the source document. It's a little all over the place and long. And so it was really nice to have Copilot go through and in a concise way give me these insights. I will switch this back to standard for now because there's a few other areas I want to call out. We have the option to immediately copy this by clicking this button here. What's nice about that is that anywhere I want this, whether it's a Teams message to a colleague, or I'm using this in an Outlook email to send to someone to give them a quick brief as to what this document was about, that copy allows me to paste it in the proper formatting anywhere I'd like. Now, this is one of my favorites. So the summary is useful, but you'll see right next to it, it says Insights. When I click on this, it's giving me two additional areas, key numbers and suggested Q&A. It's really quite nice. I want to start with the suggested Q&A. What is the target customer profile for Contoso's Lightning Home Energy System in Europe? Oh, target customers are tech savvy, sustainability focused, and they have to make a good amount of money in order to afford their solution. Interesting. What are the key elements in their system and what's the investment range? What incentives and support are they going to be offering to the partners? That's useful to know. Partners can benefit from 20 to 30%, 25 to 30% margins, volume incentives. Okay, useful stuff that it's extracted from the document as questions that I might have going into it. Really useful. Then key numbers. I really enjoy this. What's the market opportunity? They're saying $12.8 billion, or euros, I should say, in this example. 3,200 to 3,800 euro investment, 75,000 euros or higher household income. Here's the margins number. Q3 is what we're looking at for a launch. Phase 2 launch in Q4. They're looking at over 1,500 installations. So what I did not need to do was read through this entire document and find all of that myself. Copilot here in Microsoft Word is able to give me those summaries immediately. Some people may be fans of podcasts. You can listen to two people back and forth talking through something. We also have this ability here in this capability of summarizing a Word document. I can go up to Audio Overview. And when I click this, that will bring in Copilot here on the side, and it will generate an audio overview for us of this document. You'll see it says I've created an audio overview, and I can listen to two hosts talk about the document in question. I'll give you just a sample of this.
To today's overview on transforming home energy for electric vehicles. We're diving into a solution that really changes the game.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you with us as we explore this cutting-edge approach that reshapes home energy and charging.
All right. Now that will go on for 3 minutes and 36 seconds, according to this. But I can hear a brief overview, and it's a little bit more casual, a little bit more informal. I can put that on while I'm making a coffee and get an overview of this giant Word document that I've received. So using summarization in Microsoft Word has brought all of this interesting information to light for Jordan. The only question now is what to do next.
Jordan uses Notebook as a central intelligence hub to quickly analyze a competitive threat. Copilot synthesizes information across multiple document types and leverages all pre-staged Amsterdam launch context to develop a competitive response strategy.
When Copilot analyzes something, It's really even more powerful if it has context. So while that summary in Microsoft Word will be really useful, if I can give it even more information, like information about Boulder's own products for it to compare and contrast against, then I'm going to get even better responses from Copilot. So let's do just that. Here I can see that Sophia has sent me this as a Word document. I've opened it already, and I want to now bring this new competitive intelligence into my Microsoft 365 Copilot app. When you first open the Copilot app, you're greeted here by the Chat tab, where you can interact with Copilot in its most feature-rich form. There are two controls here at the top, Work and Web. If I want to exclusively search the web and nothing within my own organization, I can switch it to Web mode. Or I can keep it here in Work. Most of the time, you're going to want to keep it here in Work, especially because if I move over to this ... menu, you'll see that web content is an option and it is typically enabled by default. So I can turn this on or off if I'd like, but right now I somewhat have the best of both worlds with both web content and context from my own workplace. There are a lot of different copilots that represent a lot of unique capabilities. And one that Jordan is using as he's planning this exciting launch event in Amsterdam is notebooks. Notebooks is a new feature to Copilot. Inside of here, I can create a notebook that contains all of the context, all of the information about a particular project or something in mind. This way, Copilot is able to help me much more efficiently because it has all of the documents, the different elements, the pages, and more that make up all the knowledge about this specific topic. So let's take a look here at my Amsterdam Charge Hub Home Launch notebook. Now, Jordan has already set this up and given it some useful information. We can add references in the form of your different Microsoft 365 documents. So there was a venue selection page where they were talking about venues, the preliminary specifications of the device that's launching, the Charge Hub Home, the marketing copy library of Boulder's solution, the Charge Hub Home, the strategic target accounts list, and the entire launch event plan. These are Word documents. I have an Excel file here and more. I can even reference chats. Here is a chat that was happening in Teams that I've also added here to the context for this notebook. What's nice about this too is that I can give Copilot specific instructions. So in this notebook, I want Copilot to support me in this way. You're supporting me with a strategic planning for this European launch in Amsterdam. And then you can give guidance on how Copilot should respond. Emphasize opportunities to highlight Boulder's core advantages, and here are those core advantages. Your responses should be confident and solution-oriented. When providing analysis, lead with the key strategic implications. So I'm giving it this guidance on what I expect it to respond with. And that is helping to create a more informed Copilot response with whatever I ask. Okay, so let's say I want to add an additional reference, that document, that Contoso intelligence document that I was just sent. So I'll select Add a Reference, and now you'll see it's sorting through all the things that I've recently opened, and I've recently opened the Contoso Lightning Partner Opportunity document that Sophia sent. So I'll select this, and I'll now add this to my Amsterdam launch notebook. By doing this, Copilot is going to be more informed. So now I can ask it our first prompt, which references that file. So let's say something like, analyze the Contoso partner document. What is their main value proposition, and how does it compare to the Charge Hub Home? Now, this is useful because it's not only going to reference the document, but also whatever it knows about the Charge Hub Home. Let's see what Copilot responds with. It's going to take a moment, parse through both of these documents. And here we go. Very good. It's still filling in. This will type as it writes, which is really nice. I can see these things instantly. Look, it's giving me a table, a lot of strategic implications here for this, which is really good. So while it's writing, I'll move up to the top here. Let's review some of what it has put together. Well, thanks for your question, Jordan. Copilot, of course, knows that it's me because I'm logged into my Microsoft 365 account. Based on the context, here's the value proposition. Contoso's is complete home energy transformation. Here's their core messages. They're talking about transformation versus integration. Here's our main value proposition, really useful, our strategic positioning. So here it has created a table for me. Core messaging, smart charging that fits your life as opposed to complete energy transformation. Well, yes, they do have a speed on charging power, but it requires a full electrical upgrade, whereas we work with the existing home wiring. Very good. High income, long term investors, practical, tech forward homeowners. Here's our pricing comparison. Premium and infrastructure first. We are accessible and intelligent integration. So this is really useful because now Copilot's taking it a step further. Okay, strategic implications for this: reframe simplicity as strength. Position Charge Hub as the intelligent choice for customers who want advanced features without tearing up their homes. I think we have a market there. Highlight true integration, smart energy management without the need for costly upgrades. Undercut on the total cost of ownership. It is less than half the price while still offering these different features. And appeal to European values. Very good. Would you like help drafting competitive message? So Copilot's even offering ways that it can continue the conversation and help out. So this is a lot of useful knowledge. And so what I'd like to do is now take this chat that I'm having with Copilot and turn it into something a little bit more permanent. Because this chat is good for me, but I want to create a page where I can put all of this learning and then I can have other people contribute to it. So we call that a Microsoft 365 page. So using right here, still in the Microsoft 365 Copilot app, I'm going to click this button. It says Edit in Pages. I can add it to a recent page that I've already created, or I can make a new one. And that's what I want to do, is make a new one. Great. So now you'll see that I still have my ongoing chat with Copilot here, but it's created a new page for me. Now it'll title it the first bit of your prompt. I'm going to call this Contoso Strategic Analysis. Great. And I can delete some of Copilot's original prompting there. And then at the very bottom, I'll delete this last bit. So now I'm ready to go. And I like this because it's all in one place, and I can also bring in my colleagues. Before I do that, though, I want to add to this just a little bit more. So down here, I can insert a variety of things into my loop component: tables, checklists, bulleted lists, but I'd actually like Copilot's help here. So I'm going to go back over to my Copilot chat, and I'm going to say, add a section of Contoso's weaknesses that we can address. And then, of course, I'll correct my spelling here. Good. Now now Copilot is going to refer to all of this information, parse through everything, determine what I mean by Contoso's weaknesses, and then give me a response. Contoso Lightning, key weaknesses, installation complexity, narrow target market, over-engineering risk, longer time to value, limited flexibility for renters, suggested messaging. Very good. I think this is good stuff. So I can now go to Edit in Pages, and then now you'll see a third option has appeared, Add to Page. I love that. So I'll do it. And just like that, it has added that section on weaknesses to this very strategic now page that I've created. Very good. So I think it's time to invite our executive, Maya, Faye, and our sales lead, Sophia, to this document. What's nice is I can tag them here directly. So I'll just create a new area up at the top. I'll do at Maya, there's Maya Faye. And then I'll do at Sophia, there's Sophia. You'll notice that they're both red right now because I need to do one more thing. Confirm, yes. Do you want to grant them access to this? I sure do. And when I click this, it'll send them an email as well. Done. So now both of them are able to contribute to this file.
Now that the Copilot page contains useful competitive insights, Jordan shares it via Outlook in a loop component for review by Maya and the leadership team.
So using the at symbol and tagging them is one way that I can share this. But let's be real, Maya and Sophia, maybe they haven't heard of some of these features. I want to send them a good old fashioned email, but with some modern day smarts and intelligence. This is where we can use something called a loop component. When I made this page, it is all wrapped in a nice component that I can easily paste into an Outlook email and get back to Maya and Sophia as a response. Let me show you how we do this. So, right here, I can say, here's my Contoso strategic analysis. I'll hit share and then select copy component. I'll allow it. Yes, very good. The link is now copied. So let me minimize our Copilot app and return to Outlook. Here's this email with Sophia. I'm going to reply to everybody. And now I have the option in Outlook to draft with Copilot. So I can click this and say, see the analysis document below. Maya, can you please review and add any edits before I update the plan? So that would be a very brief, not very lengthy email for me to send, but Copilot's going to help me make that just a bit better. Great. Thanks, Sophia. Based on previous legal assessment, looks like we have the green light to proceed. Maya, could you take a moment to review before we edit? It's crucial that we focus on our advantages rather than pointing out Contoso's weaknesses. This approach will help us frame our market positioning, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's maybe a bit long, so let me go ahead and make this a tad shorter. There, that's much better. So I'll go ahead and keep that. I'll make a few other changes. It is always important to fully read and review anything that Copilot creates. This is a Copilot, not an autopilot. So we want to make sure that whenever Copilot's writing something, it's your words that you're saying. Modify it as you see fit. Now I'm ready to add Maya to my email thread. Great. And I'm going to add in that link to my loop component, which is still copied in my clipboard. Watch what happens when I paste this link into Outlook. Oh, that's not just any link, folks. That is a loop component. What I love about this is that I can see all of the changes to this as they are performed live. So this is that entire document. Here's the table, here's the strategic implications. Remember when I asked for key weaknesses and vulnerabilities, it's kept that section. And now other members of the team can go to the end of the document and they can also contribute to this as well. And here is an example of that. I tagged Maya and Sophia earlier. It looks like Maya is already hard at work. And even though I haven't even sent this email yet, I can see the words as they come out of Maya's brain and onto her keyboard. I would love if you could make this interesting. Okay, so I'll let her finish her work there, and I'll go ahead and send this off so that everyone is now in the loop. And just like that, using pages and this loop component, being able to paste that in the new Outlook, I've created this collaborative space where we can all work together on the document at the same time.
Jordan uses PowerPoint to rapidly create inspiration content with the new competitive messaging. Copilot creates a first draft that addresses these urgent developments.
All right, so we've given Maya a moment to come back with her feedback. Looks like from this email, she's pleased with what we've created and is asking us to make a few slides for the keynote. So let me minimize Outlook. I'll open up our notebook. Here is that page with all of that useful information that we created earlier. Now, I want this to live on even beyond just a page here in the Copilot app. So I have a very quick ability to transform this into a Microsoft Word document. I click this button here at the top, and now I can open this up right here in Microsoft Word. And it has taken all of that knowledge and created this document and also automatically uploaded it to my OneDrive so I'm ready to go. Now, this is going to be really useful when I go to make a few PowerPoint slides about this strategic analysis, because I can move right on over here to Microsoft 365 Copilot, open up a fresh blank PowerPoint presentation, and immediately Copilot is offering to help. Create a presentation with a file. So I'll select create a presentation with a file. And then from here, I can reference that document that I just created here. So let me say Contoso Strategic Analysis. Perfect. Now, I'm not going to give it any additional information. I'm just going to say make a presentation about this document. Let's see what it gives me. Because we have Narrative Builder here inside of PowerPoint. This allows Copilot to give me an outline of what it's thinking it's going to talk about before it actually goes to make it. So from here, I can see, well, you know what? We're not going to want to talk too much about Contoso themselves, so I'll delete that. I'll delete a slide on their features. I'll leave the strategic positioning. Then I have our Charge Hub Home, our key features, and then the strategic comparison. So maybe I'll even cut this too. Start with our own stuff, then talk about the comparison, the implications for our messaging, their weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and I can dive into this even deeper if I want, but let's just go ahead and generate some slides. So from here, it's making a preview of what each of these slides would look like, and I'll see that populate live as Copilot comes up with these ideas based on the document that we all collaboratively worked on together. I can even see it's giving me section headers and more. Great. Smart EV charging, key features, strategic comparison, a comparison table. Now it's gone ahead, it's made all of these slides. I'll hit keep it for now so we can dive into the details. It's giving me some agenda highlights. Now, it's going to do its best to try to use images that are AI generated, but of course, it is up to Jordan to use the Boulder approved images in this presentation. You can see it's given some brief styling. I can come down here and find that it's made a comparison table, the Contoso Lightning versus the Charge Hub Home, already for me. That table didn't exist in any of the source documentation. Copilot was able to create it based on the documents I've made and the previous analysis I've done. I can even change the look and feel of this table with design ideas here on the side. I can see the opportunities for Charge Hub Home, how we can compete with our competitor here, higher cost of ownership, and much more, longer time to value. So this is quite nice. I can now save this presentation. I'll go up here, give it a name. Competitive slides for Keynote. Perfect. Now, if I don't love this design, I can choose from a variety of different design options, including company-approved layouts. I'll open up the Design tab here, and I can sort through a whole bunch of different options. So this one looks a little bit more moody. So let me select this, and you'll see it has applied that throughout the presentation. What's nice about this is that here on my comparison table, I can open up design suggestions, and I can see even more. So let me use this one instead. There we go. Maybe because it's a table, I'll go with this. And here's a slide that has 3 key points. I can scroll through here, select a different look and feel for that one, and customize the presentation to my liking. Now, applying all of these different designs helps me to visualize what this could look like. The beauty of this is that Copilot is able to look at all of the intelligence that I've provided, the Word documents, and anything else I reference, and use that to create the basis of a PowerPoint presentation. Now, that's where Jordan's marketing skills are really going to shine. He has to go in there, finish the design. This is more so to create inspiration and general layout of the slides to help that marketer get a few hours of time back.
Jordan uses Visual Creator in Copilot to create supplemental imagery for Maya's PowerPoint presentation. Copilot creates two contrasting images to illustrate the installation differences between Boulder and the competition.
So let's talk visuals. Whether it's a PowerPoint presentation that needs some compelling imagery, some new marketing assets, there's a lot of different ways we can get our hands on some compelling visual art. One of those ways is using AI to help generate it for us. And Microsoft 365 Copilot can do this for you. Let's take a look. I'm going to open up my Microsoft 365 Copilot app, and then right down here, you'll see an option called Create. This allows you to create so many things, not only images, but also video. We can have it create forms, design a poster, design a banner, and much more. I can explore images that were created by other people, or I can get a list of my own created images. So because we are facing this challenge from Contoso, one of their things is it involves opening up the walls, doing a whole electrical panel change, and that seems complicated. I want an image that helps me describe that well. I'm about to make some very compelling marketing image. Create an image of an installer removing an electrical panel in order to install a new EV charger. The panel should look complex and dangerous with wires showing. The installer should look confused. The homeowner is standing nearby looking concerned. The scene has a melancholy feel to it. Okay. I can take this a step further. I can also choose a style. Is it photorealistic? Geometric 3D. There's a whole bunch of different abstract and realistic ideas here. I'm going to choose photorealistic. I can also select a brand and color. Now, Boulder's brand involves green. Contoso's brand involves some blue hues. So maybe I'll subtly nod to the fact that it's Contoso using this kind of bluish brand color. Now, for size, it's giving me the choice of square, portrait, or a wide, more of a landscape view. My goal is to actually use this on one half of a PowerPoint slide, so I'm going to choose a portrait orientation image and then hit Create. Watch this. Okay, here's my image. I have a installer here who is so conveniently wearing blue because I chose that in our brand kit color. I can see the blue charger here and the complexity, the electrical panel being fully exposed, the concerned homeowner nearby. Now, what's nice about this is I can make changes to the image. So at first glance, the image is what I asked for, but it's right up in their face. I want this to be a little bit more of a wider shot. So I'm going to tell Copilot, make this more zoomed out so I can see more of the garage. Great. Now I can see a little bit more of what's going on. I can see a bit more context. I think this is a pretty good image for us to use as a part of our brand. So all I need to do is simply hit download. I can choose this as a PNG, a JPEG, and other file formats, or I can simply copy it as an image and then paste it directly into the PowerPoint I'm making so I can move right along. Let's try one more example. Let's change our prompt here. Create an image of an installer simply and easily. Adding a new EV charger to a home. The panel should look clean and simple. And I'll specify the electrical panel with no wires showing. The installer should look happy and confident. The homeowner is standing nearby, looking impressed. The scene has a clean and happy feel to it. I'll keep the style photorealistic. The brand palette, I'm going to choose now our green hues that we see here. Let's go with this one. Perfect. And then again, I'll keep it to a portrait orientation image and then hit create. All right. Now, this is close. Obviously, this scene is a lot more happy of a time. However, I'm noticing a couple of issues. I can see that the electrical panel is actually on the outside of the house. That doesn't make too much sense. And he's wearing blue. We can't have that. Our color is green. Make the installer's outfit and hat be green in color. Also, make this scene be indoors inside a well organized garage. Okay, let's see what we get here. All right, we have a lot more green now in this shot with our installer here dressed in bolder colors. We have a happy homeowner looking on. All of this looks fairly straightforward. Great. So I think I'm ready to download this image as well. Now I can use both of these side by side to help augment my PowerPoint presentation. This isn't just for PowerPoint, we can use this for a wide variety of things. Now, it is important always to note when it's appropriate to use AI generated imagery versus when it would make more sense to use actual photography. Boulder's installers probably have a very specific uniform. This image wouldn't be consistent with it. So it is always on the marketer to use their best judgment as to when an AI image can evoke a sense of feeling versus specific imagery that needs to match exactly. But using this, which is already a part of having Microsoft 365 Copilot, can save marketers immense amount of time.
Copilot creates comprehensive competitive messaging content that sales and marketing teams can deploy immediately, demonstrating how Copilot drives cross channel consistency under tight timelines.
For the upcoming launch, I know that we have created an entire Word document full of our copy library, how we're going to talk about our products. Now that our competitor Contoso is launching something very similar yet distinctly different, I need to update that copy library so that all of our sales and marketing professionals know how to properly talk about our product, especially as it relates to the competition that we only just learned about. So let's open up this copy library and have Copilot's help making some adjustments. All right, so inside of here, I can see in my notebook, I've already added the Charge Hub Home Marketing Copy Library. I can just click on this to open it immediately. Now, there's a lot of useful information in here. I'm going to go down here to the bottom and add in some new information with Copilot's help. So inside of here, you'll see this magical looking pen icon has appeared, Draft with Copilot. I'll click this, and I want to create new messaging around Boulder's seamless integration advantage and cost savings versus competitors requiring electrical panel upgrades. Do not name the competitors. Notice how I only wrote compare, but Copilot is already helping me even during the prompt by suggesting competitors directly, which is exactly what I was thinking in my head. So I can simply hit tab and complete it, which is really nice. Now I want to give it additional context. So I'll click add content here. And you can see there's a lot of things. Here's that strategic analysis Word document I made. So I'll give it that as context. Very good. And then I'll generate. So right here in line in my Microsoft Word document, using the template that I have here that is Boulder approved and ready, it is adding headings, it is adding subheadings, bullet point lists, and much more. This looks good to me. I'll hit keep it. Now this is writing it as a full document. I don't want that. I just want some messaging highlights. Why Boulder? Here's a couple of other points about it. Great. Just have it start with the integration advantage. Very good. That is not the limit of what I can add here. I could take this even further. Let's make a frequently asked questions section so that our sales and marketing teams know how to address some of these concerns. I'll hit draft with Copilot again. Add a Q&A FAQ section that discusses the differences between the Charge Hub Home and the Contoso solution. Again, no naming Contoso directly. And then notice it's even suggesting provide clear, concise answers addressing the key features and benefits of Charge Hub Home in a friendly and informative tone. That's nice, but I want it to stay focused on FAQ. I'll add that same document for context and then generate. Perfect. Notice it has put it into a proper FAQ format. Does this solution support smart energy features? Absolutely. It includes smart energy optimization. How does this differ from other premium energy systems? Respecting my wish not to name Contoso. While some systems focus on complete energy transformation, this is for seamless integration with your existing infrastructure. So Copilot is able to intuit what makes our offer unique and distinct. What are the installation requirements? Well, they're quick and straightforward. In contrast, other solutions may require comprehensive rewiring. This is some pretty deep thinking, insightful FAQ questions that Copilot was able to create for us. So now I can update my review time, I can make any last formatting changes, and with that, my copy library is then ready to send off to the entire field team.
Jordan uses Copilot to draft updated field guidance, efficiently coordinating the crisis response across stakeholder groups. Copilot preserves context from previous work streams and ensures clear, aligned communication across executive and field teams.
Jordan has learned a lot of information very quickly, and now he's in the position of needing to communicate that out to all of the different sales and marketing professionals in a way that won't inflame them, in a way that won't scare them, but still conveys the information. Let's have Copilot's help drafting this communication. So I'm going to open up the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. I'm here inside of our Charge Hub Home Launch notebook, and I'm going to say, draft an email to the Boulder sales and marketing teams explaining what we know about the Contoso solution, highlighting briefly how we are different/better and then inform them that I've updated the copy library and they should all review it as well as the FAQ at the bottom. Now, that's not all. I do have inside of this notebook all of this strategic analysis. Now, I can choose to include this here as specific context for my ask, but let's see if Copilot doesn't even need it. Because all of this was in the context of this notebook that I've been using, including the strategic analysis, including the Word document from Contoso. I think that Copilot doesn't need me to specify anything. I think it'll know what I'm asking for. So let's see what happens. Here's an email you can send to the sales and marketing team. Notice it knows who I am because I'm signed in with my Microsoft 365 account. Competitive brief, Contoso Lightning versus ChargeHub Home, updated messaging resources. That's a great subject line. Hey team, as we ramp up for the upcoming launch, great, I want to ensure everyone's aligned on how we can position ourselves against Contoso's Lightning system. What we know about it, information. How ChargeHub Home is different and better. While Contoso bets on disruption, we're delivering smart integration without the headaches. Here's our core points. Our message is clear, everything you need, nothing you don't. Action required, review the updated messaging resources. I've just updated the marketing copy, please review it. Start with the FAQ at the bottom. Let's keep this momentum going. Very good. I absolutely love this. So now I'm ready. I'm going to take this information here, and then I'll open up Outlook. I'll draft a new email. I'll send that out to our sales and marketing teams. I'll copy Maya Fey since she's been helpful in this process. And then I'll paste in the message that Copilot has helped me with. Using Windows 11, I'll drag this to the side, snap it to one side, put Copilot here on the other side, which is really helpful when I'm copying back and forth. So I can select competitive brief and updated resources. Wonderful. I'll put that there as the subject line. Great. Let me make this full size again. I'm only missing one last thing. I obviously need to include that new updated copy library that I've made. So let me put that here. In Outlook, I'll use the Attach button here at the top. And because the copy library was one of the last things I've updated, it is here in the suggested files. I'll press this, and now a link to that has been provided right here. Of course, I now need to read this entire email, modify it for my own style, make sure that it is accurate. With all of this in mind, I think it's ready to send. And just like that, I've used Copilot, I've used notebooks, I've used Word, I've used artificial intelligence throughout Jordan's entire day to respond to this new late-breaking information to make sure that our launch event is up to date and communicate out effectively to our entire team. For marketing professionals, this is only a few of the ways that Copilot can continue to add value to your organization, and we can't wait to see what you do with it. Throughout Jordan's competitive response campaign, we've witnessed how Microsoft 365 Copilot transforms marketing from reactive to proactive. From quickly analyzing competitive documents and using Notebook to develop strategic responses, to updating presentations and messaging frameworks, Copilot helps Jordan maintain brand leadership while adapting quickly to market changes. For marketing professionals like Jordan, Copilot provides the agility needed to respond to competitive threats while maintaining message consistency across all channels. Complex competitive analysis becomes strategic advantage through faster insights and coordinated response capabilities that preserve the launch momentum. The resources on your screen include detailed guides for implementing Copilot in your workflows, along with useful templates and frameworks. Thank you for joining me on Jordan's journey today. I'm excited to see how Copilot helps your marketing team maintain competitive advantage through strategic agility.